Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to episode 2 of Harvest the Shift on Living Naturally with Michaela. This week, we turn inward towards the heart. And I am joined by the lovely Marian of Heart Art Magic to explore how creativity, intuition, and heart healing practices help us nurture what really is ready to grow. So, welcome, Marianne. Happy to have you with me again this month on a new on a on a new topic. So, welcome.
Thank you so much, Michaela. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So, before we get started, as usual, do you have a card that you would like to share with us today?
The card that came out today was called Enlightened as One. And if people want to take the frequency number, it's there 343331131. Enlightened as One. And again, it's a little bit like the two heart and head coming together and being guided, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think about it.
So it'd be really interesting to see how that card comes into play with our discussion today. Because usually when we have a card, it absolutely has something to tie in with how our discussion goes. So I'm really, really interested to see how that plays out. Yeah. But before we even get into the next get into the topic of today, before we recorded, you mentioned that you yourself had recently pulled your 5,000th card. Is that what it was? So would you like to share that with us? Because I felt like that one really, really speaks to what we're talking about today as well.
Well, absolutely. And it was on the 9th of September that this card was chosen. And it's called Beginning of New Freedom. And when I think about, I've spent 4 years and 6 months doing daily cards and journaling for myself. And this really spoke volumes to me, So I'm just going to read it out. It says, a fresh start and a new beginning and rejuvenation have already started within you. It's time for peace and reconciliation. Liking and loving yourself is your first step on your new journey. So profound. And I'm so grateful, Michaela, that, you talk about harvesting the shift. When I think about the hours and days and months and now years that have gone into those journals, because I'm on the end of journal number 7 now, and I literally have poured my heart and soul into it to see what is it doing for me. But not only am I reaping the rewards of what it's doing for me, I'm reaping the rewards of and how many people it has helped. Because by me helping myself, it has allowed me to help other people too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us. And so let's go ahead now and we'll jump into the topic for today. So we're talking about tending the heart in regards to harvesting the shift, because we're moving into, a new season. And, this is the time of year where, everything starts to transition and change. And I think it's very important for us to go inward sometimes to really kind of understand what is going on, what is ready to shift, and that kind of thing. So sometimes our heart is trying to say something to us, but our mind keeps interrupting us. It's that the old adage of heart, versus head, kind of thing. So what can we do to soften and listen to what the heart is actually trying to tell us right now?
Well, when you say that, I think about, when your heart kind of whispers, you feel that, but then your head shouts. So your heart is whispering and you feel good, and then your head comes in and says, don't be so silly, or something like that. You can just stop a beautiful thought, a beautiful feeling just starting to emanate within you, and then the head can just shut it down if you allow it. But what you can do is you can say to yourself, that's interesting. You don't have to say no, or you don't have to disallow it. You just, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And another thing you can do is take your hand and just let it come back over your head. So from here, back, I say 3 times. And that's like, you know, when you go onto your computer and you press the delete key.
Yes.
Okay, so
An energetic delete.
delete, yeah. So that's interesting. And then, or isn't that interesting? And then just delete without
Yeah.
saying anything, you know. So that's one thing that you could do.
Okay. That kind of reminds me of when I'm trying to encourage people to meditate, and they're always like, well, my mind, goes a million miles a minute, kind of thing. And, and I tell them sometimes we cannot stop those thoughts from coming in, but if we just acknowledge them and let them go, we can get back to what we were trying to do. So that's very similar. It's like, that's interesting. So it's like, you just acknowledge it and just kind of let it go on.
So, you're not giving any commands. You're just, just noticing. Just notice and then
Yeah.
delete. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. As an ex-computer person, I like the the whole delete. delete, delete, delete.
The other thing too, in other shows that we've talked about too, is, that meditating sometimes doesn't have to be sitting in stillness.
Right.
It can be walking. It can be in your garden. It can be, as you're crafty like I am. You're creating your crafts and doing the things that you love doing, because that's when I go into my meditative state.
Yeah.
And I get lost in it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Meditation doesn't always have to be sitting in the lotus position, trying to quiet your mind, because sometimes you can't quiet your mind. It can be any number of things. It can be walking meditation. It can be, crafting meditation. It can be dancing meditation.
Absolutely.
You can even be in meditation driving. I do that a lot too. I found lately where I've just been, usually when I drive places, I will have like an audio book on, or I'll have some music playing. But lately I've just been in silence. It's like, no book, no music, nothing. And it allows me to be with myself while I'm driving. And so something as simple as driving, something as mundane as driving, can also become a meditation of sorts.
Do you know why that is?
Why is that? Because it's movement?
Because you're in an automatic mode. When you started learning to drive, we weren't in automatic mode, we were in overwhelm. But when you learn to drive, it becomes automatic. So you're in that automatic mode. I actually don't listen to music. I don't listen to radio. When I'm driving, it's just complete silence. And that's when I get most of my information comes through, And if I go back to the card that we just chose, Enlightened as One, the guide that comes in and gives you the information or inspiration, that's where I get a lot of my inspiration, is when I'm driving, because I don't listen to music, I don't listen to radio. And I've often, Michaela, have to pull over to the side of the road, find a safe place to pull over, pen and paper, because I just say, oh my gosh, that was amazing, and write it down, because if I don't, I lose it,
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like, oh my gosh, there's a good side and a bad side. The good side is like I get lots of good information, or I come up with good ideas, but then it's like, but I have to write it down right then. So I have to I started also like recording notes too, so that helps a little bit, but that still requires effort. So I don't want to, distract myself while I'm driving. Anyway, I know you guys don't want to listen to us talk about our driving story, so so let's move on to the next part, which is what can we do to honor the emotional truth that is growing within us and prepare for change. So we've taken the time to listen to what our hearts are saying, and we want to know what is truly ready to like blossom and grow that we can harvest in this next stage. So what can we do to honor that emotional truth?
Well, what you could do is place your hand on your heart and ask yourself the question, what truth do I need to uh, allow to come through for me right now? And then just wait, because now you've asked a question and your subconscious mind may deliver either sooner. I remember doing this. It was actually my very first card that became the first card of my first card deck. And the message on that card was, this may happen sooner than you think.
Mm.
When I was thinking about, well, what do I need to look at now? And it may be, the answer may come sooner than you think. It was the very next day that I created, and the information came in to create a card deck.
Mm. Wow.
Place your hand on your heart and ask, what truth do I need to feel or know right now? And just wait and see what comes.
What truth do I need to know or
Yeah.
feel right now?
Yeah, right now.
All right. Did you guys write that down? Write it down. You're going to need that.
Because your knowing comes from your thoughts and your feeling comes from your heart. So
Yeah.
that's your head and heart together. I like to call it like that, 3H: heart, head, higher self. And again, that's where, if you think about that, the guide, your guide comes in.
Your higher self. Yes, absolutely.
Heart, head, higher self.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Marianne, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today. I know this has been a very interesting time for us because at the time that we're recording this, if you that are listening to this now, if you're listening to it later, this is coming off of the heels of the 9/11 anniversary, and there's a lot of unrest that is going on right now, and there is a lot of transitioning and shifting and it's going on in the world today, and I think a lot of us are feeling it right now, and it can be very difficult for us to go within ourselves to find the things that we need to do for us during a time when we're also trying to do good for the world as well, because that energy is so heavy right now and it's so chaotic that those of us that feel it keenly are really just trying to just function right now and still be able to be the good in the world when things are not looking so great right now. So if you're taking additional away from this today, I'd like for you to not only look at what you can harvest for you, but what you can harvest for the world as well, for mankind. So, Marianne, what would you like to leave us with today that our viewers can take away with them?
Okay, so I think an uplifting message is healing happens here, right here, and it's within me. I start within me. When I start within me, it will emanate out to the people that are next to me, and then hopefully emanate like the ripple in the pond. So healing starts here. Or healing happens here. Again, 3H. Healing happens here. Heart, head, higher self.
Heart, head, higher self. And healing happens here. Two triple H's. Well, that is it for today's show. As a reminder, when you tend your heart, you create fertile ground for authentic growth and soul-aligned living. So I encourage you to, either try some intuitive art prompts, like Marianne's heart art magic decks, or try some guided journaling or something of that sort to help you tune inward to what your heart is saying, and nurture what is growing within. So, thank you again for watching today. If this episode resonated with you, I invite you to visit the Harvest to Shift collection page to access resources, downloads, and other heart healing tools because your journey inward begins now. Thank you.
Thank you.